Wow. I mean, wow. This is absolutely absurd. Another week, another laughable edition of Smackdown that's practically destined for the trash heap of history. I can't even begin to describe how painful it is to witness this continuous parade of mediocrity. It's already been unacceptable for months, but the fact that they are consistently rolling out this kind of content week after week is not just frustrating, it's downright embarrassing. Roman Reigns' once vaunted arc, which I've been warning you about for weeks now, has officially sunk into oblivion. If I told you grass was turning to cheese, you'd better go grab some crackers, because I wouldn't be lying. Roman Reigns' entire reign, this tribal chief story, has completely fallen apart, and it's becoming harder and harder to ignore. And now we're stuck with this half-baked feud between Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. This ridiculous triple threat match that makes absolutely zero sense. It's an absolute train wreck, and I'm here to break it all down for you. First off, let's talk about Roman Reigns. You've seen how the man has carried this company for what feels like an eternity now, his reign cementing him as one of the top figures in modern WWE history. But, lo and behold, this week's episode of Smackdown has Roman Reigns, the so-called tribal chief, appearing without the Ulafala. Where is it? After grinding for months to reclaim the Ulafala from the likes of a jobber like Solo Sikoa, you mean to tell me Roman's not even wearing the damn thing? It's as if they've completely forgotten about the symbolism behind that championship. I mean, the Ulafala isn't just a belt. It represents bloodlines, royal lineage, power, dominance. It's the ultimate mark of Reigns' leadership within the bloodline. And here we are, with him barely even acknowledging it. What's worse is that instead of this revered piece of championship history, Roman walks out wearing a phony t-shirt from WWE Shop. Really? This is the leader of the bloodline, the undisputed king of WWE? He's reduced to this nonsense, to nothing more than a cheap merch-selling gimmick? It's beyond frustrating. But that's the trend with Triple H's booking these days, isn't it? All of this incredible build-up, just to deliver some quick, meaningless pop moments for the sake of what? Reviving dead storylines with stale, recycled content? You can already see it. A heel Cena. Stone Cold Steve Austin potentially showing up at this year's Mania. The Rock returning to make an appearance. It's just cheap thrills to mask the utter lack of creativity and long-term planning. This is the state of the product now. Old names and recycled gimmicks trotted out to distract fans from the glaring lack of substance. It's disrespectful to fans, and it's insulting to the legacy of the superstars involved. Now, let's dive into the show itself. From top to bottom, this SmackDown was, without a doubt, one of the worst episodes I've ever seen. And yet, the first 15 minutes of the show somehow set the bar high. An incredibly low bar, mind you. Randy Orton makes his long-awaited return, and the crowd absolutely erupts. You could feel the electricity in the air as he made his entrance, and you could tell that every wrestling fan in the building knew that they were witnessing something special. Orton's career speaks for itself. 13-time world champion. A true legend in every sense of the word. The man has done it all, from his rise as the legend killer to his reign as one of the most accomplished and enduring stars of WWE's modern era. Yet, despite his history, his return is tied to a feud with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, someone who will likely never sniff the level of legendary status that Orton has achieved. And that's the sad part. Owens, while incredibly talented, is no Randy Orton. Orton is going to WrestleMania 41 to face Owens in a match that, quite frankly, feels like an afterthought. The match will be given some sort of stipulation, Probably a no-holds-barred match, where Orton will ultimately punt Owens in the head to close the show. It's already predictable, and it's already boring. Orton and Owens are capable of cutting a decent promo, but none of it feels consequential. It's just filler. Filler for a feud that no one really cares about. The crowd pops for Orton's return, but once the dust settles, you realize that this match, this feud, is completely devoid of any real meaning. A 14th-time world champion being wasted in a throwaway storyline with Kevin Owens? What a tragedy. But before we go down the rabbit hole of the rest of the show, let's revisit Randy Orton's promo. He's in the ring, basking in the adoration of the fans, when Kevin Owens interrupts him. And here's the kicker. Owens comes out, acting like a scorned lover, angry that Orton sided with Cody Rhodes over him. It's honestly kind of ridiculous. Owens gives us a speech about forgiveness, how he's learned to forgive Randy for his past actions. And then, just like that, he's extending an olive branch. But Randy, being the master on the mic that he is, absolutely rips him apart. He doesn't buy into the idea of forgiveness and tells Owens to take his apology and shove it. Instead, he promises to destroy Owens at WrestleMania. And that's it. The match is set. But despite all the mic work, you just can't shake the feeling that it's a pointless encounter. It's like watching two titans from different eras clash, and one of them has clearly outlived his relevance. From here, we're thrown into a meaningless tag match with Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso. There's nothing memorable about this match. Absolutely nothing. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest engage in a random brawl before the match, as if that's supposed to get the crowd invested. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. This feud is so uninspired that it feels like a parody of itself. Both Drew and Priest have been criminally underutilized this season, and it's just more filler for a show that desperately needs depth. Drew McIntyre, a former world champion, reduced to a random tag match at WrestleMania, and Priest, a man who's done nothing but play second fiddle in the Judgment Day, is barely even able to get a reaction from the overseas crowd. It's embarrassing. In the match itself, we see Drew and Shinsuke lose to Damian Priest and Jimmy Uso, in yet another meaningless outcome that doesn't move the needle in any direction. But the real fun begins after the match, as Drew McIntyre takes out his frustration on Damian Priest, claymoring him right in the back of the head. It's a fitting way to end a segment that was as forgettable as it was frustrating. Drew cuts some trash talk, mentioning something about WrestleMania, but you can't shake the feeling that none of this matters. It's all just noise at this point, filler for a roster full of talent that's being completely wasted in these meaningless rivalries. And then, oh boy, we have to talk about Charlotte Flair, the Queen, the one who's supposed to be the top-tier female star in WWE, completely flounders in a promo segment with Tiffany Stratton. To say this was painful to watch would be an understatement. Charlotte, in her usual arrogant manner, rips into Tiffany Stratton, calling her out for being nothing more than a blonde with a few flashy moves. She tells Tiffany that she'll be lucky to have a job when she's Charlotte's age, and that just because she can do some flips, it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. You could feel the venom in Charlotte's words as she tore into Stratton, but the real issue here isn't Charlotte's performance. No, the real problem is Tiffany Stratton herself. Stratton, who is still incredibly green and struggling to find her footing on the mic, has no business being involved in a feud of this magnitude. She's just not ready yet. Her promos are cringeworthy at best, and it's clear that she's being pushed way too fast. Charlotte's sharp wit and experience completely overshadow Stratton's attempts to sound confident. It's painful, and it's a real waste of potential. Charlotte Flair, with her immense talent, should be carrying this division, but instead, she's stuck in a meaningless feud with someone who simply isn't ready for the spotlight. Stratton's lines: "Charlotte, you put water on fires, but at the end of the day, it's always gonna be tiff time," are as uninspired as they come. The crowd doesn't buy into it, and, quite frankly, neither do I. Stratton is a future talent, but she's nowhere near ready to carry the women's division. Her reign as champion has been lackluster at best, and it's time for Charlotte to take that title back. If anyone can elevate the women's division right now, it's Charlotte Flair. Tiffany Stratton needs more time to marinate, to develop as both a performer and a character. Maybe someday she'll be the star WWE wants her to be, but for now, she needs to step aside.